Okay, Brian says we're ready. So my name is Denise Harmel-Garza, and I'm with Texas AgriLife Extension, and I work for an extension specialist out of the Wildlife and Fisheries Department. So my program is actually a statewide program, and I help train volunteers. And so one of the ways that we help train our volunteers is we have discovered campusextension.org. And I'm here to talk to you today about campusextension.org. I have a confession to make. I am not a technology guru. So if I had to pick something that would describe me in technology, this would be it. I started an extension in '94. I stayed there for a while. Then I took a brief hiatus, and I just came back in 2011. When I came back in 2011, I had a flip phone, so $49 from the local store. So there was a big learning curve for me. So one of the things that I was introduced to was e-extension, and it's taken me a while to figure out what that's all about. So I wanted to share a little bit of background information. One of the things that Dave Gray talked about was a platform for us to share information. And to me, this is really what e-extension is about. For those of us who have been in extension for a while, it is relatively easy to share information in your state. But how do we share it across state boundaries and on a national level? And to me, e-extension is a platform that has enabled us to do that. And one of the ways is coming to a conference like this and seeing all the ideas from the different states and being a part of a community of practice. So that's a great thing about e-extension. This is my interpretation of e-extension. It may not be the most accurate one, but this is how I kind of look at it. There's a public side to it, so you can create a product and the public can see it, and that's what Campus Extension is on there, along with Learn, Ask an Expert, and blogs. There is a side that's kind of for agency use and allows for us to collaborate, and that's the other side. And I say agency use because that's just not AgriLife Extension agency. In our COP, we have private companies, we have foundations, we have other state agencies within that. So it's not just for AgriLife people. When I started Extension, I went to a presentation when we were trying to figure out what this whole internet thing was, and there was a presenter, and he said this quote, "It is less expensive and more cost-effective to transport information than to transport people." And I believe in that statement. And that statement has kind of guided me in my campus extension experience. Again, it's less expensive and more cost-effective to transport information than it is to transport people. There are different types of courses on Campus Extension. You can create the one that works for you. What they have done is there are some courses that are self-directed. A person sits in front of a computer, they go through the modules, and then it's completed. There are some that are instructor-led, and this is a continuum. So across this continuum, you can have a course in there that's a blend of any of these. So if you're doing a pesticide applicator and they just need their CEUs, they need to sit through something, and they don't need instructor feedback, that's something you can do. If you want to be there and touch those and talk to those students every day, you can design a course that way. So it can be what you want it to be. Currently, I have created 3 courses, and this is kind of where I see them on the continuum, and then I'm going to briefly describe those courses. And hopefully that will give you an idea, maybe an inspiration of how you might want to use Campus Extension. So all you need to do is have an extension login and an extension ID. And then when you go there, there will be courses that you enroll in and you can take yourself, courses you instruct, and courses that you also co-instruct. The first course that we did was the one I talked about in my description in the program. And I realized for my description in the program, I gave my whole presentation away. So I wanted to back up and kind of tell you a little bit more all about Campus Extension. So in the wildlife and hunting course, these are for 4-H people that want to be coaches. There are volunteers. We were bringing them to a site. They were having a face-to-face workshop, and we were staying late and putting in a lot of hours. So what we did was we put several steps online through Campus Extension for them to complete before coming to the face-to-face workshop. And in doing so, we knocked off about 8 hours of the training. So now they don't have to leave work at 12 o'clock and miss half a day at work on Friday. They can go ahead and come in Friday evening, and then we have them out by Sunday. The great thing about e-extension on this course, it's a stepwise process. Step 1, they do this. Step 2, they do this. And the other thing is I can check on them about 2 weeks before and see that they've completed those steps before coming to the face-to-face workshop. If they haven't, I'll give them a little email nudge and say, hey, go finish your stuff, or you have to stay late. Nobody wants to stay late. So the other course that we have kind of came about because there was a professor at the wildlife department, and he said, I have all this course content that I've created for a course with the university, and I'd like to make it available to Extension for you to use. And so this is how this course became available. So there are 5 modules. They go through those at a self-pace, and then after 5 weeks of being able to go through the modules, the instructor leads an online discussion, and then there's a test. So this one is distributed to people who need continuing education credits as teachers, and it gives them 5 modules and information they can use about wildlife habitat management. We are redesigning this course right now to be associated with our state standards, what we call the TEKS in Texas. And so we're going to kind of make this for ag science teachers so they can get their continuing education course credit. One of the interesting things about this course is we had people from Amarillo, San Antonio, all over the state of Texas coming to take the course. And the guy from Amarillo, who's like 500 miles away from College Station, said, I'm so glad I found you. He said, I've done everything there is to do around here as far as continuing ed, and this is exactly what I need. The third course that we've designed is a wildlife leadership course. And this is actually a year-long course. And this cohort will get together for 3 face-to-face meetings. In between those meetings, then they will have online modules that they will go through. This is also, they have their assignments online, so they'll submit their assignments through Campus Extension. And then they will go ahead and archive the information onto this. Excuse me. Why Campus Extension? First, it's free to us as Extension employees. It saves our volunteers time. It's easy to use and learn. Remember that technology thing? So Moodle has its own learning platforms that you can go through. The Extension Help Desk is always great. LearnExtension.org has several modules that you can ask a question and it will come through. And one of the things that we've tried to do is we've tried to repurpose the existing information. So with our feral hog community of practice, we're taking webinars. We hope to take webinars, publications, and kind of repurpose those into an online distance ed course through Campus Extension. The other thing is the archival qualities. So if you run a 6 weeks course, you can automatically turn around and run another 6 weeks course. For our year-long course, we hope to have all that build upon that for the next year, for our next cohorts to come in. Why Extension? I've seen this on the posters that we have around. This is why Extension to me. Everybody knows what this means, right? All right, I'm going to give you a different definition. It's relevant. So I can go to Google and I can put in a topic, right? And it will give me back a bunch of information. Excuse me. But is it relevant to what I want to do? So Extension has relevancy. Is it reliable information? So has it been through peer review? Is it based on scientific fact? So those are some of the things that Extension, we know when we produce a product, it has this. And is it real? So let me give you an example of this. So we have my daughter's kindergarten class wants to make a crystal snowflake. So there were 3 options. Make it out of borax, make it out of sugar, or make it out of salt. So we chose borax. Well, we decided borax is not necessarily the best. So it didn't really work. So we know that extension, it really works. And again, that's what we're about. We're about taking the research that we know and the teaching that we, models that we design, and taking it to the people. Any questions? Sorry about the coughing. My allergies are acting up. How do I report?
I was just asking how you report that for your own accountability in terms of course completions or teaching contacts per session or...
Oh, course completions. So what will happen is they will sign up, and then they will be given a certificate at the end. We report...
For the agency.
Yes.
Put in contact hours.
Mm-hmm.
When you do those certificates of completion, are you utilizing the tool within Moodle, within
Yes.
campus.extension.org to create your certificate?
We use that when we have the 6 weeks course and they never have the face-to-face meeting. At the face-to-face meeting, they actually get a certificate.
That's great. Any other questions? Well, thank you so much. Appreciate your presentation today.
You're welcome.